All right, here we go. Chip Rogers, day one again. I think this is we've been doing a lot of interviews all day already.
Year four for Catalyst, right?
My fourth Catalyst.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
So started in Miami 4 years ago, and Denver, and then Chicago, and here we are.
And I'm three for me.
Awesome. I have to get my sticker.
Yeah, definitely.
So here we are in Seattle, and great event, and it's great energy.
Great energy. It's always great to be here. It's really the signature event for the partner community, and so it's something I look forward to every year.
It is great. I mean, the event has really grown and progressed, and it really feels this is a great venue. A lot of energy, and sort of everyone. It all feels like it's very manageable, but it is like everyone's all kind of in the same place.
Yeah, I feel like the first year, maybe, or the first couple of years, we were more like in the side room, off to the side somewhere, and now we're like in the arena, we're in the big room.
Yeah.
And to your point, I think every year the number of people gets bigger. I think probably the diversity of partners that are representing the ecosystem gets better, and we've got more and more representation from the executive ranks, so it's just a wonderful thing. Like I said, it's really a signature event for the industry and something we look forward to every year.
Yeah, fantastic. So I'm so excited to be joined now with Frank Hanzlik, and Frank is VP of Partnerships at Avalara,
Tax and compliance company. Orange, lots of
tax.
orange.
That's right.
With the orange, which is great.
I love it. I've seen your guys' booths and you guys have like orange sneakers and orange. Well, you got the orange sneakers.
Yeah, back in the day we had margarita machines. Not as many of those anymore, but yeah, we always try to have fun. The whole idea is make tax less taxing, because tax is really a pain, and so the more we can kind of take care of that for you using automation, the more you can focus on your business.
Yeah, fantastic. So Frank, you've been in technology companies for your career, and Avalara. You were with Dell and Motorola.
Bigger companies. I worked at some smaller companies. I had a chance to do a startup. I worked for a hedge fund for a little bit. So I've seen a lot, but it's all been around tech, and tech's really been a passion of mine, and it's been amazing to see the evolution of the industry. We talk about this being the 50th year of Microsoft in the keynote this morning, and think about 50 years of tech, and so seeing internet, mobile phones, now it's AI everywhere. It's just it's a really fun space to be in.
Yeah, it sure is, and we've got the gray hairs to prove it, right?
We do. I know we do. All earned.
So tell us a little bit about Avalara is a great partner company. You guys go to market with partners. Yep. Both in terms of services and then technology integrations. Tell us a little more just about what your view of the Avalara partner ecosystem and how you're
Yeah, well, we were very fortunate. I think from day one, our founder Scott McFarlane basically was very partner first. And not every company or every organization represented here has that privilege, if you will, but it really started on day one, literally from the top. Yeah. And so now, 20 plus years later, we've got that great legacy of partner first. We've got 1,400 plus technology integrations. My team principally works with our big tech partners, so it may be ERP partners like a Microsoft or a NetSuite, it may be e-commerce partners like a Shopify or a BigCommerce, or it could be fintech partners. It could be a ChargeBee, it could be a Stripe, it could be a Zora. So we basically really try to work with just about everybody in that ecosystem, because the vision that Scott had and still has is being part of every transaction in the world, which is a pretty big, hairy, audacious
goal. It's a big vision.
So you got to be partnering kind of with everybody, to be able to really have a chance of being able to actually achieve that.
Yeah. So, that's how do you keep up? Because not only do you have the integrations, but you got all the tax laws and the local, law changes and municipalities and all of that.
Well, automation. And now today, AI is more and more a part of every conversation. I mean, we've been doing AI in different forms for a number of years, but it really fundamentally started with saying that the idea of manual calculation for something as complex as this is, something that changes so frequently and continues to broaden so much, is just not something that anybody can really do, certainly not at scale. So the idea of using automation is kind of paramount. So whether it's the tariffs, which is a big thing obviously in the last few months here, I don't know how anybody could do that, without automation. So I remember being at another event, literally day one when the tariffs were coming out, and we're like, okay, at 12:01, we have a whole set of automation that's going to be kind of turning on all of those new changes from that day.
Yeah.
And then the next day, if it changes, we'll be ready the next day. So it's just one of those real automation first kind of plays that's turned to be very prescient and now has really paid out.
True. However, you also need to build those automations, right? I mean, and then build all those rules in. So it's a complicated. You guys have a job.
It's very complicated, and I think part of that is not just the technology as it relates to the product suite, for example, but what does it mean for our kinds of roles? What does it mean if you're a partner manager today? What does it mean if you're a partner manager in 3 or 5 years? And I think we're all being challenged. I think at events like this, and being able to network to understand where can we really add value. As humans, if you will, right? Where is our automation that can maybe take some of those more menial tasks and be able to do those, and then the combination that hopefully allows us to really create better value for our partners and for our customers.
Yeah. So your partners, obviously we're talking about the technology partners, but also, GSIs, of course, have both, consulting and transformation, businesses, but then they've also got tax and audit as well. So they're all your partners.
Yeah, we literally have thousands of partners. I mentioned 1,400 plus integrations. That's on the tech side, but we've got thousands and thousands of other partners in the kind of areas that you talked about, because it's so much about the ecosystem play. So if you're looking at a technology platform, an SAP, an Oracle, a NetSuite, whoever it is, who are all those different stakeholders that are in that value chain, right? So where are the GSIs, where are the big four accounting firms, where are the value-added resellers, where are some of the consultants, influencers? So trying to understand how do you get everybody, orchestrated, if you will, kind of around, a common vision, common goal. That's where you really can drive, I think, transformative change, and I think that's what everybody in an event like this is trying to understand. How do we do that, or how do we do that better if we're doing some of it today?
And so, how do you do it?
Well, you listen a lot. You come to events like this, and unlike what we're doing now, you try to listen more than you're speaking. But really, it's just being a student of the craft. I think we've been in partnerships for a long time, but we always have things to learn. So I think whether it's networking at events like this, whether it's looking at some of the research that's out there, whether it's trying to incorporate ChatGPT into our daily routine every day, I think it's a combination of just being curious, really trying to be very, very focused on continuous learning and development.
Tell us a little bit about how you keep your services partners, updated on the latest, capabilities and the new, tax changes and things like that. I'm sure, they need to have that information to be smart in front of their customers. I'm sure you guys,
Yeah, so it's like many of these things, it's probably it's an and kind of conversation. There's multiple ways we do it. So we've got portals, we have ongoing webinars, we have other events that we'll do where we'll be using that to really kind of get the word about tariffs, for example. What does that mean relative to cross-border? If you're an implementer, what does it mean if you're doing on the advisory services side? What does that mean? So, if you have that ecosystem kind of focus, there's a constant need to continue to, get the word out in terms of like what's coming and how to be prepared. And then to my point a moment ago, use that as a listening opportunity as well. Like, what are we missing perhaps? What could we do in the curriculum? What could we do in some of the enablement materials that would make them more successful in terms of some of those other partners in the value chain getting more value out of it?
That's amazing. Fantastic. So let's take a look back at the technology partners again. How are you? Clearly you have the integrations and where you're really deeply embedded in a Shopify kind of thing. You're deeply embedded. Are you also? I'm sure you are, but how are you also working with those, not only from a technology standpoint, but go to market, where you're building the better together story, co-selling?
Well, I love that you said better together, because that's a big buzzword, for me personally, and I think for the organization of late. I mean, the more you truly have a better together story, the opportunity for real value creation, the opportunity for differentiation, the opportunity for true joint go-to-market, it just gets exponentially larger. So I think in the old days, it was a check a box, do an integration with Avalara to XYZ tech company. And that was great, that's great. But now I think that's more kind of table stakes. And where we're really seeing the magic, I think, is where are there partners that want to really get close? Where can we really look at the workflow? How is that process today? what would be better about it in the future, and is there a way we can collaborate using what a tech partner maybe does in their core business, if they're an ERP provider, for example, and then how can we kind of complement that? So we've got examples, very public examples with Oracle, for example, on the upper end, where we've really been very thoughtful about an integrated solution there, which is great for the enterprise. And then at maybe the lower end, we've done some great things with Xero as well, where we've really looked at that kind of small accounting community and say, how could we make their lives easier and better?
Fantastic. Well, Frank, this has been terrific.
It's
really
always a pleasure to be with you and to be at these kind of events. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So you've shared a lot, and I really appreciate you taking some time, to chat with us. Let's, we got the rest of the event this afternoon, and there's some. There's like a welcome reception, I think, and all that. So.
Yeah. So I think for everybody that's at Catalyst, enjoy. For those who aren't, join Partnership Leaders. It's just a fantastic organization.
It is a great organization, great events, and not only Catalyst, but also the local events.
That's right. Because there's so many of those now too. That's a great point. It used to be just pretty much once a year, and now in most cities, not just in the U.S. but around the world, there's some way of kind of really getting together and doing this on a smaller scale.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah.
Frank, thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, and thank you all for joining, and we will see you next time.